Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest chapter review for Akatsuki no Yona, also known as Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn, chapter 214. Let's get underway with this one, because it seems like a lot happens in this chapter, so I'm just going to have to go through it, sort of read it page by page, because I don't want to miss anything, because when I read the chapter, I was thinking, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of shit happening. So the opening bit of the chapter, let's just jump right in, because the opening bit is, of course, Hak is still fighting, getting himself beat, bloodied, bruised, and everything. I mean, everybody showed up, but Hak is still having to repel the forces, pretty much by the looks of it, relatively speaking, single-handedly, right? Yona, of course, is trying to take care of all the wounded soldiers, and is very upset seeing Hak in such a state. Hak is just constantly fighting, no food, no water, no nothing, looking really bad, leaning on Yon and just being like, yes, or I got hurt, sort of idea, and it's really bad. Now, the pirate crew, or the former pirates, that came from Iowa, they're there going, they didn't know that, the Kim province was in such a terrible state. We need more food, we need supplies, we need yada, yada, yada. But that being the case, they thought that this becomes very extremely relevant, is that Hak thought that it would take the pirates, the former pirates, a lot longer to reach them, and reach them in the nick of time. But apparently, according to them, the river was actually pretty good, and it wasn't nearly as rough, and they got there way earlier because the river seemed to be pretty calm. And everybody initially believes that that's really lucky. And they're sort of thinking, oh yeah, this is pretty lucky, and that's what everyone's initial thing is, like, wow, Mother Nature was on our side, and we're going to learn that maybe that's not the case, right? And Hak is still thinking like he's optimistic in front of the troops and stuff, but he's very, all right, so we're going to be attacked. This is a terrible situation. We really, realistically, they need to retreat. He knows that, but how can they move all these wounded people? How can they do this? How can they do that? And he's not in charge once again, even though he's de facto in charge, he's not in charge. And he takes a lot on himself. That being said, they talked, once this was all going down, then a little bit of discord, a little bit of disgruntlement towards a negativity towards Hak, who is their savior. At this point, Gwentai would be dead, everybody would be dead without Hak, right? This battalion, the Earth Tribe, probably would have been overrun. But in this particular instance, they talk that Yoon got the Senjuzo, right? Of course, looking to potentially help out soo-won and stuff like that. Now, very pessimistic from Zeno, surprisingly, saying that nothing on Earth can stop this disease, because it's beyond this earthly plane. It's something magical. It's something from the heavens. It's a curse. It's a blessing. It's whatever you want to look at it. It's not something made here, so it can't be cured here. Now, as I've pointed out before, I think that potentially this could slow the disease. However, potentially, yes, maybe it can't ever cure the disease, but this could get rid of the symptoms of the disease. It could make soo-won at full fighting force for maybe, let's say if he only had 3 years left, maybe this will give him 5 years. Maybe this will give him 7 years. But not only 7 years, but 7 years without pain, without symptoms. We don't know. So this is where everyone's sort of like, oh, wow, you really you got the Senjuzo, and everyone's like, oh, you're going to use it to save our general, right? General Gwentai. If we had Gwentai, we'd be set and stuff like that, I'm sure with the Senjuzo, he would have one hell of a recovery, right? And of course, see, the former pirates really spoke at a turn, and not that they should have known, but remember that the Senjuzo, apparently they only gave enough, our favorite captain in the series gave enough to Yoon, by the sounds of it, for one person. Or maybe Yoon wants to try multiple methods utilizing the Senjuzo. Who knows? But either he wants enough to experiment with, sort of idea, because maybe okay, if we grind it up and do this and put it in tea, or maybe if we do it like this and if we boil it down first, what if we chop it up, what if we mince it, what if we maybe if we liquidize it, who knows? Maybe he wants to try multiple ways of using the Senjutsu to see if it will help soo-won. Now, speaking out of turn, they said that it's going to help, like, this is all the fault of the former pirates. And, I mean, I know we like Chubby Face here, but he really spoke out of turn. And then because he opened his big fat mouth, now Yoon's in a pickle. Because he says, oh, well, it's really lucky you got the Senjutsu in time, right, Yoon? Clearly, you must be using it to save the general. And saying this in front of all the wounded Earth Tribe citizens. Are you stupid? Like, he goes, what? You really brought us a medicine that can save our general? Like, oh, shit. Like, that's just going downhill. So, according to, and of course they believe this in this miracle plant and stuff, and everyone's like, thank you, give me the medicine, I'll give it to him right away, blah, 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 blah. And Hawk's standing there, and Yoon says, wait a minute, I'm sorry, but this Senjutsu is for like, Yoon's honest about it and says, I need the Senjutsu for somebody else, someone who's sicker, like, I'm sorry. And everyone's like, wait, someone else? And they said, you mean we can't afford to use it on our Lord? And he says, well, yeah. And he said, well, who are you going to use it on then? He can't say the king, even though these people may or may not back down if they knew it was for the king. But he can't say that because it's a secret and yada, yada, yada. And Yoon's just like struggling and everyone's like, yeah. And then, of course, they're yelling at a fucking kid. Like, Jesus Christ, this is really annoying. But, like, I like the Earth Tribe citizens for the most part, but notice that I said this back when Gwen Tai first got hurt, back in that chapter review. When that went down, I said that Gwen Tai might be one of the best warriors. He might have some of the best tribesmen. But the fact of the matter is that it was poorly executed military-wise. Because he goes down, the whole tribe's fucked. Nobody knows what to do. Everyone's at each other's throats. No, like, without Hawk here, Earth Tribe fails. Like, there's nobody that... He didn't train up a protege. There's not like, okay, Gwen Tai and his 3 commanders or his 3 generals. No, he has a very dictatorship style of he is the linchpin. He is the point where everything meets. And once he's gone, he's the catalyst. And without Gwen Tai, everything goes to pot. So the thing is that we're seeing that disarray here now because everyone's like yelling at a fucking kid saying like, you have a medicine that can cure our Lord, blah, blah, blah. Now you can understand from their perspective slightly, but it was the pirates' fault for opening their big mouth about this and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I don't know. And then, of course, the one person that's actually kept them alive, he has to pretend to be the bad guy because we have them like going like, there's nobody else who needs it more, and everybody's asking like, if you have the medicine, you must save Lord Gwen Tai, and it's the only hope of the Earth Tribe and stuff. It's like, only hope of the Earth Tribe? What do you think Hawk has been doing for you people day in and day out? Piss off! Like these people still don't acknowledge that, and he promised that he could protect it with his life, and he's bringing it for the king and stuff, and then Fat Boy decides to say, Yoon, we did give you the Senjutsu to you, but it's not only for you to keep, you know. And it's like, he's not keeping it for himself. He's not being greedy. What he's doing is, he said he needs the Senjutsu to go help someone. This fucker knows it. When he went to Awa, he was like, I need the Senjutsu. They gave it to Yoon because he's like, someone clearly is very, very sick. Now, what if this fat fuck had found out it was Yona who was sick? Would he be saying this bullshit? You know, so I'm pissed at this fat fuck. I'm pissed at this guy because he should know better. First off, not to open his big mouth and assume that he's here to save Gwen Tai. That was a fault on his, but that's his fault. That's on him. And second, to have this fucking line, this attitude, hate this guy now. Hate this guy. It's like, it's not only for you to keep. What do you think he went for the Senjutsu for in the first place? Right? Like, why do you think he went and got the Senjutsu? Like, if it's not for the Earth Tribe General, clearly he went to go get it for someone else. So basically you're saying, fuck whoever you actually went and got it for, save Gwen Tai because he's here immediate. He's the immediate problem that you're here right now that you can save. Screw whoever might be on their deathbed. Right? And it's just like, you know, and you're putting this all on a kid, on a teenager, and I'm just sitting there like, no, I don't like this at all. So now, then they start to roughhouse him and stuff, and then Yoon's just like, stop it, and Hawk, boom, no, grabs it, says, nope, I'm taking it. He says, sorry, but you can't take this because I'm going to use it. So Hak has to play the bad guy, and nobody's probably going to try to come to his defense because now he's sown discord. Now they're going to be less trusting of Hak now because he's going to, that greedy son of a bitch, blah, blah, blah. He might have helped us out on the battlefield here and there. They'll diminish that Hak is the only reason the Earth tribe isn't overrun, and they'll start propping up the fact that he's a selfish bastard. So all because, and this is all because of that fat fuck from how, Jesus. Very, very irritating. So he says basically, the Earth Tribe people are like, there's no way we'll let you, and stuff like that. And Hak's like, Yoon was following my orders, so this is mine. You can try to take it from me, but I'm not giving it to you, so screw you. So everyone's starting to talk about it. Some people are in disbelief because they do recognize that Hak has been the one saving them. But everyone's just like, how dare he, using the medicine on himself. He's selfish, he's greedy, even though we could save Lord Gwen Tai with this, And, of course, we see the kid. I always forget the kid's name, but we see the kid sort of in between things. And he really just is an outsider. And, of course, see, this was going to happen. And Yoon is just like, no, they're wrong. The Thunder Beast is protecting me once again. And he's just like, no, the Thunder Beast is better than this. Don't talk bad about the Thunder Beast. And I thought Yoon was going to blow up here, but he didn't. He ran and followed the Thunder Beast. He followed Hak and said, Yoon, you should get out of sight here for a while. It'd be better if you stayed away from the soldiers and the villages and the villagers. And Yoon basically said, no, I have to give medical treatment to the injured. And he says, my bad. It'd be rude of you to hide, right? Well, let's fight our own battles as best we can, sort of idea. And so this was a really powerful scene because Hak is now like, okay, I took on the initial front, but they're gonna hate Yoon because Yoon didn't go against my orders. Regardless, he's gonna be very well mistreated. We might see this in the next couple chapters where he's gonna try to help someone, and someone's gonna shove him to the side and say, "We don't want your help," blah blah blah, and that kind of idea. And Yona, of course, is gonna try to power through that. But you gotta feel really bad for Yona, and it's all because of that fucking stupid pirate, So, anyways. Then we move on. This is actually quite a long chapter. Well, it might not feel like it just feels really long because then that general, the crazy general, definitely Fire Emblem inspired general, shows up on horseback and basically says it's one horseman, it's an ambush, they must be waiting behind the hill and stuff. So Hak goes out to meet with them. This fella, he's one of the guys who was, I think, recognizing his design, he's one of the guys who's been around the most, he's one of the semi-commanders or something like that. He doesn't know about the Senjuzo incident right now, so he's all like, well, I'll come with you, sir. And he's like, no, I'm going to go here, you stay on alert, that's what's important. So he goes out, he meets with this general. Now, we basically get the rundown. He's basically, I'm one of the 8 great generals from the heavens and blah, 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 of the South Kai Empire. And he says, I expect that you are the commander now of these troops and stuff. I would like you to fight me in one-on-one combat as a warrior. I request that we have a duel, basically, on horseback. And Hak just is starting not to buy it. He's just like, they've been attacking us over and over and over with skirmishes. Now, all of a sudden, he wants a duel? What changed? What happened? Now, initially, I was sort of like, okay, yes. So Hak is already suspecting a trap, which is good on Hak. But or a diversion or something like that. He doesn't know what's up. From what we understood of this character and what he just saw, it's not crazy to think that he might want to fight one-on-one. Realistically. Yeah, and use himself as bait, but he actually does want to fight Hak one-on-one from what he witnessed. That being said, it does still work to the advantages of the trap because, because Hak's like, if they had kept up their hit, and run tactics, we'd be out and they know it. They know we'd be out of supplies. They know we'd be out of everything. So, but the general even says okay, maybe, and he's this general, at first he looks like, he's got the shaved eyebrows and the creepy, really slimy looking hair and stuff. And it's okay, this is one of those creepy generals who's what are they, masochist, sadist, something like that. But he basically, this Ra'an general, he is basically thinking to himself, and I had a lot of respect for him right here, is that not only, he's probably pretty strong in his own right, but he's like, I need to keep this motherfucker right here. I need him to stay right damn here, because if he's not distracted, all our plans can go awry. And he even says, like, for the sake of my troops, for the sake of everything, and he even recognizes, he's starting to shake, he's like, I might lose this fight. He doesn't think like, oh, this guy might be strong, but I can take him. He's like, no, I'm putting my life on the line because this guy probably, like, he's not underestimating Hak. He's like, that dude's probably a better warrior than I am. In the end, I might lose this fight. Even, like, right now, it's sort of even because he's all beaten up and he recognizes this. This dude has been fighting nonstop. I'm at full strength. And that's the only reason I have any hope of winning. Like, he's not an idiot. He saw Hak fight. He saw the tenacity. He saw the rage and the courage and just the presence, the power of Hak, of the Thunder Beast. So he's just like, yeah, okay, I got to wear this guy down and then I got to fight him and I got to distract him as long as possible. But either way, so he says all this and he's thinking all this and stuff, and he's thinking, well, this guy's got a warrior's pride and stuff. He won't refuse the duel. Hak then says, like, I'm just a new recruit of the Sky Tribe. I'm just a rookie. If you take my head, it's just the head of a rookie. You know that, right? Like, it's not going to do anything. Now, of course, the general says he doesn't believe this and says, you seem to be the backbone of the kingdom to my eyes. And he's just like, Hak's like, well, I'm a new recruit. So, and he even thinks to himself that I know no matter what you say, I don't think you're saying this to lie. Like he's actually got a lot of respect for Hak for the first interaction between them. He seems to have a lot of respect. He's like, my assessment of you is that if you fall, that's gonna hurt a lot of circles in the Coca Kingdom. Like you underestimate your own value, sort of idea. So either way, so Hak and him decide to, time to make their move, and boom, so they're going to duel. Really, really cool. Now, then we jump into another scene. See what I'm talking about? There's a lot to discuss here. There's a lot to talk about the Yoon situation with the Senjutsu, and now there's the situation with the duel and stuff, and we're getting a feel for this general character, who I thought would be sort of one-dimensional. Clearly a better character than I initially thought from design and just attitude-wise. I thought this was one of those, like, oh my god, I love watching a man fight and sweat in battle. Like, we've seen that trope in so many shoujo and shonen and stuff. They're always one-dimensional. They're a very tropey character, and they always look a little slimy and a little like, ecstasy. They always look like they're turned on or some shit. So when they're watching people die or something, they're into blood. They're into, you know what I mean? They're into that stuff. We see that all the time. But here, my initial assessment of this general character was wrong, because we get this scene and we're getting a lot of what's going on in his head, what his inner monologue is speaking. So very, very well done on not falling into that tropey trap for this character, because with one scene in this chapter, my total assessment of him has changed. So that's really cool. Now, then we have Mr. Fat Boy, and who's, okay with Earth Tribe soldiers with swords, I guess, beating down on their friend Yoon. Because he's stupid. They're like loading up the boats, and they're sort of like, I guess they're like supposed to be heading back home or something like that. Apparently the waterfalls, the river's down, the waterfall, and I was just like, is like stopped and the river's slow, and I'm like, yeah, I already knew where this was going. This has been a tactic in every single like video game, every single manga, every single show. It's always, they blocked the river, so that's always the way, right? So they decide to go up and see what's actually keeping the river, see what's happening. They look on. We jump back to the duel. The duel is going quite well. Hak, of course, is sweating and in a bad way, but he still seems to be evenly matched against this. But he realized there's some type of trap. Something's going down. Something's wrong. He remembers about the river not being as rough as usual. The force of the river. The soldiers not coming down from their elevated position. What the hell's going on? Then he finally recognizes, no way, the river, they've blocked the river up. So it's a dam. They're blocking the river with a giant, huge dam. And there's nothing they can really, realistically right now, not much they can do about it. And what they're going to do at first, I thought, okay, they're cutting away their escape route, right? They're cutting away the ability to get more supplies down, like using the river, etc., etc. But no, it's from the north side. So what they're going to do is they built up all the pressure, and now they're going to break the dam, and it's going to flood them. And that's what Hak's thinking. They're going to flood us out. They're going to just tsunami the whole dam. They're just going to release the river all at once, and it's going to be a giant flood throughout the village, through the front lines, all the supplies, all the huts, everything. And Hak realizes this right away, tries to go back. Of course, the general basically says, like, oh, like, blocks him, and he's like, he's figured it out, but he's like, haha, you can't get away that easily. And then, but then he's just like, Hawk's like, all right, I don't have time for this. Boom! And he's just like, boom! He hits him, and it's like, that's why we need that Hawk poster up there, because this man's just like, okay, yeah, I was dueling with you, trying to test you out, but no, you're in my way. Boom! And seemingly cuts through his armor and everything like that. He's hitting him really good, but of course, the general is no pushover either. Hawk can't just take him down like that. So he's fast, and in the condition he's in, he can't take him out easily. So he's trying to scream and yell to the watchtower guys, saying, get to the higher ground, they're flooding the place, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, the guy on the watchtower can't hear it, like it's too far away and all that stuff. So he's thinking of everything. He's thinking of Yoon. He's thinking of the kid. He's thinking of, like, all the Earth Tribe soldiers, even though they don't appreciate him. He's thinking of everybody. And he's just like, everybody, get the hell to higher ground. Someone, like, I can't do it all. Like, and it's true. He can't do it all. It's about time somebody else pulled their fucking weight in this goddamn war, because he's been fighting a war single-handedly for chapters on end. It's like, could somebody else pull up? And that's when, of course, we think that this is all going to happen. The pirates decide that they're going to fight against some of these soldiers. But it's no big deal, because at the end of the chapter, it's like, okay, maybe they're going to die against these guys. But look who shows up. But jae-ha and Kija. So yes, okay, so we got 2 of the 4 dragons showed up in the nick of time. This is excellent. We haven't seen the dragons and Hawk fight alongside each other for a long time. And of course, we have the 2 with the powerhouses. We have the Dragon Claw, we have the Dragon Leg. We know that they're going to be able to maybe fix this situation, especially since they're on the other side with the flooding. They're not down there with Hawk. They're there with the flooding issue. So maybe they'll be able to prevent the dam or something like that. Who knows? From them unleash the dam. You know, that kind of idea. So either way, really cool to see the dragons once again. Though I've been enjoying, of course, Hawk #1, but jae-ha and Kija, really good characters and stuff, and it's been a long time. It's been a hot minute since we've seen people just outside that fucking stupid castle. It's been a long time since we've seen, like, the dragons, Hawk, Yona, anybody just outside the castle, on the road, dealing with other stuff. You know what I mean? So I think we're starting to get back to form. What made Yona the Dawn really, really good. So yeah. Either way, 2 familiar faces show up, ironically, is what jae-ha says to the pirates, but of course, they're the 2 familiar faces to us. So I like the double meaning there. So either way, really, really good chapter. Apparently, we're back in a bi-weekly format that I wasn't really aware of, because next chapter is supposed to drop around first week of October. So that's pretty cool. So we're only gonna have to wait a couple weeks, and that I'm good with that. So this is going to be really exciting. Stay tuned for chapter 215. Of course, I will be reviewing it. I apologize for the lateness of this one. I was, unfortunately, there was a big work thing that came up all across this week. So I've been very behind on a lot of my videos and a lot of editing and stuff. And sometimes these videos take a little bit longer to make. I didn't actually read the chapter until only 2 days ago myself. And at the time, I didn't have any time to record. So apologize for the lateness of this review. But this review is it might make up for it, because I went through every detailed point I wanted to discuss, every theory. This video might even be like half an hour, 35 minutes by the time I'm done. I don't know what the runtime is going to be, but I feel like I've been talking a long time. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you're not too mad that it's as late as it is, because at this point, I think this video is going to be, this might not be out until the end of the week. I have no idea. But either way, I hope I can get this edited and get it rendered and get it out in time. Maybe, maybe not. I have to go after this. After I'm done, after I hit stop recording, I got to go, and I'm not going to be back home. So it won't be out today, but we'll have to wait and see. So either way, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, as always, to drink responsibly as always. And we will see you guys back here next time for, and sing it with me, the next chapter for Yona of the Dawn. I like that one. Yona of the Dawn, chapter 215. Stay tuned for when that comes out, and we'll see you back here next time. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.